Hey guys, hope you all have been well. Welcome back to my channel. On today's video, we're going to be trying the brand Pat McGrath Labs for the first time. There is a lot to unpack in this video, from my box to swatches to the eyeshadow palette to going outside and checking it out in natural lighting, and my overall thoughts for my first Pat McGrath product. If that sounds interesting to you, please stay tuned because we're going to get straight into the video. So first off, let's start with packaging. I placed my order around I think the 29th or 30th of May, and today is June 15th. I did receive the box on June 13th. Do the math, it's about 2 weeks, which is a pretty good time. This shipped from New Jersey and it's got to make it all the way to California, to Hawaii, to Guam, to me. It did come in this black packaging, and then I was pleasantly surprised. I heard about the packaging for like lip products where they do, I think it's like glitters in a kind of Ziploc like bag, and then in here it has all of these like shimmery cellophane like products with zigzags in it. I think that it's an added bonus, but for me it's unnecessary. That's personal opinion, but a great thing to do with these things is to keep it and then you use it, you recycle it for a gift. Yes, I do it, but with a box this expensive, each of these are worth $5. Next up, we have the beautiful box. This box is so luxe. I'm trying to think of any other palette that I've owned came in this type of like outward packaging that kind of lives up to this standard. There's nothing that I can think of. This is beautiful, but I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this. I think I should because it has the names of the shades inside. I didn't know that. I didn't know that they had place the shade names inside the box and not on the actual palette, but just purely on aesthetics, A+++++. Now moving on to the palette. Oh my goodness, I knew that, people were saying just how expensive it feels. Goodness sakes, this thing has some weight on it. It feels like the same weight as a newborn child. This palette was also offered in a limited edition chrome pink palette. It did sell out by the time I purchased my own, but I wasn't planning on getting the limited edition version. You know how I feel about black packaging, so let's just stick with the theme, right? But here are the shades, and I'm going to try my best to ensure that what you see on camera is what I'm seeing as well, and that is the case with the way that things are looking on my viewfinder. That's the intention. I need you to get as much as a true idea of what the palette looks like, because sometimes things can be deceiving when you're looking at them on the internet via a promo photo. So let's watch this row by row. We're going to be starting this way and move on downwards. And after the first row is done, we'll move on to the next. So on my first swatch here, we have Skin Show Rose Opal. And in my opinion, is a very great descriptor of what it looks like. It does have an opalescent sheen to it, but it also has a pink shift or rose shift. This seems like it'll be a great lid or inner corner shade. Next up, we have Naked Blush. That is what I have in my crease. This was so easy to blend. There was kick up to it, worth mentioning. It's not as pressed into the pan as some eyeshadows are, but the way that it blends, the way it diffuses, it was absolute perfection. Next shade here we have Eleganza. Now on first swatch, it looks like a mid-tone pink, but it also does have a bit of a purple shift to it. I'm gonna say this right now, I think this is gonna be one of my favorite lid shades. I'm calling it. Number 4, we have Bronze Rosé 005, and this is the shade that I have in the center of my lid. It's a coppery bronze, and it might just be a preference, but I love shimmers like this. Next up, we have Gold Lust 001, and this is just a yellow gold. It is what I have in the inner corners of my eyes, and again, much like the two before it, they are a pretty similar shimmer. You know what, I might also push that this is like a refined glitter, because there are specks of glitter in it, but they're just so fine that when you glide them across the skin, it almost feels like it's just a shimmer eyeshadow. The fallout on these shadows using my fingers without glitter glue it was close to none. Like I didn't have to clean up my under eye. And that's saying a lot if this is considered a glitter shade. Here's our next shade, and this is the start of the last row, and we have Xtreme Burgundy. This is the only other matte shade other than Naked Blush here, and they both swatch amazing. They're very creamy. This too has some sort of kick up on it, but on application there's no poof everywhere, and it's creamy and very easy to glide on the skin. And I would best describe this color as, I know it says burgundy, but I'm feeling more of like a deepened plum. Next shade here we have Divine Dusk, and similar to Eleganza where it's like it has an undertone and then the glitter on top of it. Eleganza's undertone is a mid-tone pink and the shimmer in it is a silver pink, whereas with Divine Dusk you kind of have a more purple undertone and then the shimmers in it are more of that medium pink tone shift. I think that the 3 shades here were a lot easier to swatch in my opinion, but it is worth noting that it did come off well on my lids. Next up we have Rose Seduction, and this is that bright pink shade in the palette. Hot pink Barbie vibes is what I think of. And in the palette so far, this seems more like a traditional shimmer. It's not so much a refined glitter. It's got that reflectiveness to it and a creamier finish when gliding it on the skin. It's pretty much a solid hot pink shimmer. Next up we have VR Sextraterrestrial. I got that done on the first try. Thank goodness, I was struggling practicing it. I mean, it's a multi-chrome. Look at that. I'm not even gonna explain it, right? I don't need to. Look at that shift. It's like a pink, green, and bronze shift all in one. And I'm pretty sure indie brands did start this multi-chrome or trichrome series of shadows, but oh my goodness. I mean, look at that. Look at my finger. And lastly, we have Astral Pink Moon, and this is kind of similar to all those other refined glitter shades. It's swatched more similarly to Divine Dusk, where it wasn't as smooth as those first 3 refined glitter shades, but the finish is similar to that, and that is what I placed in my inner corners. I am loving these shades. They kind of remind me of eyeshadow toppers. I've mentioned it a ton in previous videos. I love eyeshadow toppers, and so to have this in my collection that I can just go to just to pop on top, and it's gonna give me bam pigment just based off the 2 shades that I put on my lid. This is so much better than the ColourPop ones, and I would say even better than some of the Tom Ford ones. These are just amazing. Out of all the different finishes, I love this refined glitter shades. Needless to say, I am very pleased with my first Pat McGrath experience. I know for myself, I'm gonna be holding off until I get another one. I do want to play with this and have enough time to work with the formula and figure out what would be a great companion palette to this. So we're gonna work with this for a little bit and then figure out what the next one will be. The 2 that I'm currently interested in is the original Divine Rose, as well as I think it's called the Bronze Seduction, the Mothership 5. But I'm happy to say that I have absolutely no regrets.